Hey guys, welcome back to another Battlefield video, and today I actually want to discuss the issue around skins. So Battlefield 6 has quite a few skins, and I'm going to put a few on screen here, and hopefully we can both agree that the NATO skins are pretty good and solid. You have the Coyote Squad, just like American Forces. United Albion, kind of a funny name, but kind of looks like British Forces. Desert Locust is actually a pretty interesting look, and I feel like this would work well in Siege of Cairo, but also North African maps or Middle Eastern maps. So I'm like, hey, you know, maybe you could throw in a nice, cool map to promote the Desert Locust skin, because I don't think I'm wearing that on Liberation Peak or New York. And then the Phantom skin, as I pre-ordered the game, I got the Phantom skin editions. They're pretty fun and alright. But overall, the NATO skins are pretty solid, in my opinion. I think they're great. They look really cool as well. American Forces do look like American Forces, British Forces do. This is supposed to be the remainder of the NATO forces, right? Till PAX form their own faction. I think BF6 knew what they were doing for NATO forces. Now, if we move to the PAX Armata, look at the group skins here again, or squad skins as you could call them. You have the Fire Team, which is a pretty decent one. Again, it's PAX. They're meant to be different. I like it. It's different. Espada is also a pretty nice collection of skins too. I actually don't see any issue of complaint here. I kind of like the strike of green. It's a nice kind of color. It gives me vibes back to the green used on Battlefield 3 skins, which you'll see later on soon, but I might put a snip up here as well. Kahina Unite. I said that correctly and didn't botch it. It's kind of a cool skin as well, because that's supposed to emphasize, I believe, the African forces that are African forces with a wider faction. And then you have the Panopticon 8, if I'm saying that correctly. Now, this has been an interesting skin to see in game, because the two on the right, I'd actually say are pretty cool. I believe that's Assault and Recon. Could be wrong. No, I think it is Assault and Recon. Not me struggling to identify loadouts based on the skins here. And the other two are Engineer and Support, I'm assuming. A bit more vibrant on the yellow. But one thing that is foundational truth across all of the PAX motto is the highlighting of the yellow, be it an armband or leg band. A visible yellow, bright green color to make them visibly identifiable, which we have kind of seen, unfortunately, in the Ukraine and Russia war, i.e. who's wearing what kind of sellotape or band tape, if it's green or yellow, to ID the forces, right, because they're more or less wearing the same colors as well. And then this just reinforces again, Battlefield 6 knew what they were doing in terms of camos and all that cool stuff. So you have the two key factions, NATO and PAX Armata. Skin wise, uniform wise, I'm not complaining. It's pretty good and solid. I'll probably say Panopticon 8 is a unique one, but I kind of like the vibe as well. If anything, it mirrors that of the Phantom edition for the NATO forces, and hey, it's unique. It kind of has a story, and it doesn't break the game in a weird way in terms of it being aesthetically pleasing or not. Now, moving on to two skins I've actually been a fan of from Season 1, or skin collections, is the Regiment one. I'm very annoyed that I have to pay for this skin. I would actually be willing to do any challenge to unlock this skin, but now I'm 27 guys, I've been playing this game since I was a young teenager, I think. Battlefield 3, Xbox 360, that's when I first started on like the big family TV. Regiment skin is just great. It just looks like US Special Forces, man, and that's what it was meant to be, so there's no complaints there. The 323 I actually like. It's kind of nice, it suits the California theme as well, plus the Season 1 theme. I like it. And again, this just proves the case that DICE knows what to do when it comes to skins. What we want. They know, they've always known ever since Battlefield 3. I mean, that's where this game was built from, right? Now, I will show you some wacky, interesting skins from Battlefield 6 that are interesting and I think don't match the theme or direction the game planned on going in. So yeah, first you see this one here, which is just a bright green, which is interesting. I don't think anyone's going to choose to rock this anytime soon. And you have the Wicked one, which is blue on black. Again, kind of just an interesting color to go on, Wicked Grin. Then we have Limited Hangout, which in turn Dev decided to make a skin and name it. I don't know. And then Fairmongerer, I mean, it's kind of like a knockoff from Call of Duty Ghosts. And Call of Duty Ghosts was a great game, campaign-wise, multiplayer-wise, the whole shebang. So what we see clearly now is that Battlefield 6 knows what type of skins and uniforms we want. Then they throw in other stuff which are a bit too, I don't know, I was going to say unique, but I don't even think they're unique. I think they're just random outliers. So there, those are some I wouldn't agree with. Now, let's take a step back, go back to my journey again. Battlefield 3, you really had a limited set of camos, but they all worked perfectly well. So I'm going to show you the US Forces and the Assault, Engineer, Support and Recon. And all of these colours here, or the colour combos, were actually just really, really good. You had Marpat, Desert, DCU, TAN, Navy, UCPD, ATAX, Nauticam, Marpat Woodlands, Black, OD, which is kind of like a version of green, and then M81 OD. So you could literally go from being a US Army soldier, if you wanted to be so accurate, I guess we kind of wanted to back then, to being a Marine soldier, possibly a US Marines. Based on the greens, you could go with the M81, be it Woodlands, or the M81 plus OD. Black, Navy, and you kind of go with the Navy SEALs aspect. But ultimately, you had what, 6, 3, 18 camos to work with. That's all. You couldn't customize where things go on your body or whatnot, which they did in later Battlefields, particularly Battlefield 5. And this just worked perfectly fine. I'm also going to show you some snippets of the Assaults, the Supports, and the other classes too. Recon, can't lie, I think Recon cooked the best with Navy and Black. I just remember that being such a potent. I think the uniforms, to be fair, we got to give it to them. The uniforms from Battlefield 3 just work so nicely for each faction, US and Russia. And I'm going to show you guys the Russian uniforms. Again, same aspect here, but what was kind of more obvious was the Russian forces not really showing their face as much to some degree. I guess it kind of does make sense in a weird aspect. But let's look at the Assault class here. And with the Assault class, you can see again Serpat, Kamush. I guess these are camos related to the Russian forces. You have Black, Navy, Gorod, OD, Flora, and then just a few other great ones too. SS Osin was actually really, really cool. It's kind of like a nice play on brown. Again, you don't see any weird wacky colours such as bright this or that. The Inflector you could say is bright, but kind of toned down bright too, in a weird respective way. And again, the uniform design for each class was just great. Machine Gunner with the kind of right shield helmet works nicely. Russian Recon uniform, again, was just really, really cool. So nice, the khaki looks so clean on the Recon. The Engineers, Infamous Engineers with that gas mask. Oh, pure cinema, man. Absolute nostalgia looking back on this uniform again. Black was just standard, and I think this was maintained throughout the latest versions of Battlefield prior to Battlefield 6. It just looks so cool. Actually just looks so cool. So Battlefield 3, they knew what we wanted, and I guess they did a great job. Battlefield 6, they know what we wanted, and also playing with what we kind of don't want to see, but I guess that's creative. Curse 2. Now if we fast forward to Battlefield 4, Battlefield 4 is interesting because we see the welcoming or invitation of a third new faction we've never seen before in the Battlefield franchise. I could be wrong here, but we see the Chinese forces. So again, I'm going to show you the American forces first. Again, Support, Engineer, Recon, Assault. Very simple, very US force driven too. Kind of taken away from Battlefield 3. Nothing too much was reimagined or reinvented. Russian forces again, Assault, Engineer, Support, well, Recon. Again, emphasis on the dark green. That's a key part of the green men, right, from the Russian forces alone. In China, it was actually interesting to see how they would have brought in China as force, PLA. And it worked out pretty good. You can tell that the Assault class was very much inspired from the other two factions. Recon, inspired from the other two factions again, covering up the face, keeping it minimal at the top in terms of uniform. Engineer, very much inspired from Battlefield 3's Russian engineers. I mean, the gas mask. Come on now. And the support dude was actually pretty cool in terms of having that little ballistic face shield, if you would call it that. And yeah, I think Battlefield 4 did a great job too. Again, they just gave you an array of colours, cameos to work with, and it just worked. There were no issues there. What's interesting looking back on Battlefield 3 and 4 is that there was limited customization, but great colours being offered and patterns alike, which is key to consider given that you couldn't build your soldier character based on your uniform. Now, I'm not covering Battlefield 1 or 5 in this video here because, with all due respect, they're not modern in terms of 21st century conflicts, war zones. We still have to pay homage to Battlefield 1 because that was a great war. Zero flaws in the game itself as well. And the uniform appreciation was second to none. And it had to be very historically accurate too, so there was no space for freedom. In the word world, they would have gotten crazy pushback. Battlefield 5 was the first time we saw an interesting turn in events in terms of how you could create and customize your soldier character, where you could mix and match certain parts, so chest uniform with legs, and then headgear, and so then they did bring in the male-female thing, which was interesting, but you let some things slide, I guess, when you love a franchise. But this was really cool because you could build a first para soldier from the UK parachute regiment. Also could build out an SS soldier too. And you could just mix and match uniforms to create your own taste or style, which was kind of nice to see and kind of made everyone unique on the battlefield. You could still identify which class people were, but then at the same time you could be free to be different. Battlefield 2042. Sorry guys, but I did not buy Battlefield 2042, so I can't comment on Battlefield 2042. That's why I pre-ordered Battlefield 6. I played the beta for Battlefield 2042, but that was it. I couldn't be asked once I played the beta. I'm like, no way bro, this ain't it. And kind of pleasantly content with that because I feel like that's made Battlefield 6 a whole lot more fun and more enjoyable for me. Someone recently commented on my post about how gunplay and a few things feel similar to Battlefield 2042, and I'm like, hey, that's cool, but I can't relate because I didn't buy or play that game at all. And Battlefield 6 is actually the first ever game I've ever pre-ordered in my life. But I just wanted to cover in this video is that Battlefield 6 knows what we want in terms of soldier cosmetics and what we want the soldiers to look like. They did it very obviously with PAX, Armada and NATO, the two key factions. Season 1, they gave us the Regiment and 323, which were pretty great skins too. The winter skins, I didn't cover them, but just thinking about them now, did work out. Some of them pushed the boundary a bit, but all in all I think the winter skins were okay. Plus it's a bit more freedom to do explorative stuff with the winter colours, right? As we saw them also doing bright green, bright blue, knockoff version of Ghost. These skins aren't it. Battlefield 3, very simple, just 18 skin tones, and it just worked fine. No issues or qualms there. The color palettes worked well for the American forces and the Russian forces. Battlefield 4, we've seen them maintain that from Battlefield 3, plus integrate a new faction, China, which succeeded as well, being its own unique faction and not really being a knockoff of Russia, right? I mean, they know what we want. Hopefully this year they do a lot of great things, fix the maps, fix a few other issues or whatnot. I'm really content and happy with Battlefield 6, to be honest. Yes, it could be a whole lot better. Do I expect a lot from Season 2 now? I do. But overall, it's a solid, decent game. I feel like once they do make the necessary changes to the skins, that'd be great. I really don't want to pay for skin, guys. I'm happy to save the coins and collect them from like Season 1, Season 2 and so on, but I'm too old to be paying for skins, man. I'm 27. Maybe it's you or me, but financially, I'll pre-order a game, but I won't pay for skins that I don't really see in first person mode, but someone behind me will see because that's my third person character, right? But Battlefield was nice as well. Battlefield 5, I mean, in terms that you could change the face and those kind of stuff there. I'm not asking Battlefield 6 to reinvent the wheel. They're kind of stuck with what they have now. I think it's working. But just bring more optionality, guys, if possible. More realism as well. 323 was a great spin-off. Matches the story. The Regiment, true to warfare, can't go wrong with that skin. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you like the skins so far on Battlefield 6? Would you kind of like an embrace or a paying homage and respect to the skins achieved in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4? if they're going to do sets, they might as well stay true to a concept and then just change the camos, change the vibe, the energy from each group within the faction and so on, and just work from there. Like, comment, subscribe if you like this. Drop down comments for future stuff you want to see, or just drop anything for debate's sake. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys.